Good morning. It's Friday, June 10th, 2020. It's 2:36 a.m. I am on my way to meet up with my group to do a 1-hour morning run for our 70.3 triathlon training. You ever met somebody who was the life of the party? And then have you ever met somebody who was extremely quiet and reserved? And then have you ever met somebody who was really smart and could help a lot of people? And then you had the one who was the troublemaker, the one that showed up with the weed and was the first one to ever show you a pistol. As a kid, we identify with one of those. We don't identify because we sit there and say, all right, well, we fit into this category. We identify naturally, meaning we moved into that position, into that space. It is who we are. It isn't until later on in life that we actually try to put a name with it or identify with it by looking at the different characteristics of this individual. But younger, growing up, we're just one of them. We are one of them. But what I've noticed, and I have this conversation with my wife all the time, because we have one child that is extremely overzealous. And to look at him right now, you'd probably think that he'd just work out a jungle gym for the rest of his life with as much energy and the way he bounces off the wall. But what I've noticed, and I think they may have even did a study about this. If they haven't done a study, they've at least identified how what I'm getting ready to say is true. And that is, the child that usually gives you the most problems typically ends up being the child who accomplishes the most. But we identify with one of these characteristics. We are one of these characteristics growing up. Later on in life, we try to identify it. We try to identify with it. And then we try to break it. All right, because most of the time the cool girl ends up with 10 kids. She don't look cool anymore. Smart guy ends up with a good job, but alone. The popular guy ends up being a bad baby daddy to 5 different kids. I say all that to say, I'm very much the introvert. I mean, I literally do these videos that nobody watches. I mean, somebody could, and I've had people watch them, and I bump into them, and it's like the awkwardest thing in the world. Because being an introvert, it's okay that you don't watch the video. Thank God. But you still do the video on the slight chance that somebody might watch it. It makes you feel like you're coming out of your shell. So for me, to interview somebody, to do anything that is outside of being just an introvert, is very uncomfortable. And when you identify with the person that you are, or the type of person that you are, you could become, or you could begin to come out of that preconceived idea. And I think for sometimes being like the bad kid, you don't want to be in that box too long. That's you just don't want to be there too long. It's too rough. It's too heavy. Too much jail. You got to go to jail. If you're the bad kid, you got to go to jail. Everybody expects you to go to jail. Everybody was telling me as I was growing up, you're either going to end up jail or you're end up dead. I'm like, way to go. Positive reinforcement right there. Yeah. Spoke that one right into existence. So I say all that to say, you have an option. You have a choice. You can either accept the version that you feel you are, or you can define who you are. A lot of the reason why I work out and I run and I eat the way I eat and I wake up the way I wake up and I go to sleep the way I go to sleep, I mean, it's completely different than 100% of the people I know. Well, 99.9% of the people that I know. It's so far to the extreme. Because I have to start believing within myself that the stereotypical idea of who I thought I was or who anybody else thought I was, it's not true. And it's so not true that I will defy every single idea or thought that was ever casted upon me, whether it be by be myself who did it or somebody outside of me who did it, to show you, to show me I'm better than what you thought. Before I left out this morning, there's something I have to do. Meaning I know that it will take my life, my business into another realm. And I told my wife, well, I asked her, I said, do you think I'm fearless? She says, yes, you're very fearless. Like all the stuff that you do, like what you engage in, how you act, what you're into, you're fearless. Nothing, you're scared of nothing. I said, do you know that there's one thing that I could do that could take my business and my life into another atmosphere that I haven't done? She said, why? I'm scared. Why? You want to know why? Because I don't know how to do it. I remember my income in real estate, my business in real estate, jumping from a low 5 figures to a medium 6 figures. The moment that fear of not knowing how to do something pushed me into a area of asking how to do something, that pushed me into an area of doing something, everything changed. Everything. So food for thought. You don't know what you know until you know what you know. But at the end of the day, any ideas that you thought about who you were, if they don't agree with who you want to be, crush them.